Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into the really captivating story of Davos Seaworth from Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, Davos, what a character.
Right, we're using the Super Analysis YouTube video. Key in is Davos Seaworth as our guide. It really tracks his whole arc.
From smuggler to Hand of the King, quite the climb.
Exactly, and it's a climb that starts from pretty humble, almost kind of funny beginnings, doesn't it?
Totally. The whole onion night thing. I mean, smuggling onions.
Yeah, not exactly glamorous.
But the video points out, it says everything, right? He saved people from starving. It shows his ingenuity born from, just surviving.
And his basic decency, too, which you don't always see in Westeros.
Not at all. He's not highborn. He's practical. He knows the sea, knows how to get things done.
And that practicality, that sort of grounded nature, that's what connects him to Stannis Baratheon, isn't it?
Yeah, the video really nails that. Davos sees Stannis as the most just, the one who actually follows the rules, maybe.
The rightful heir in his eyes.
Right. And he commits completely, to the end of the world, as the video says. That's serious loyalty.
It really is. Maybe it comes from Stannis, cutting off his fingers, but also knighting him. That weird mix of harsh justice and reward.
Could be. That sense of fairness, even when harsh, might have appealed to Davos. But then, Melisandre shows up.
Right, and talk about a clash of worldviews. The video sets them up perfectly. Davos, all common sense.
And Melisandre with her fire magic and prophecies and shadow assassins.
Yeah, the video mentions the Sombras Assassinas, the shadow assassins. I mean, how does a practical guy like Davos even process that?
Exactly. He just thinks it's turbiose, like murky, suspicious. He's instantly skeptical about the dark magic, the sacrifices.
You can feel that tension simmering, can't you? The video calls it a cold war between them.
It's a great way to put it. His reason, she's extreme faith. And they're both whispering in Stannis' ear.
Which leads us straight into, disaster, really. The Battle of Blackwater Bay.
Oh, Blackwater. Yeah, the video covers that brutal reality. Stannis' big push for King's Landing.
Met by Tyrion's wildfire. Just catastrophic.
Utterly. The whole fleet basically goes up in flames.
And for Davos, it's personal.
Yeah.
So personal. He loses his son, Matos, right there in the fire.
The video uses that term, hufilo, a father losing a child. It's just heartbreaking. Adds another layer to his character.
Yet somehow he survives.
Yeah.
Washed up on a rock, I think.
Yeah, miraculous survival, testament to his resilience, like the video says. He just keeps going.
And what's amazing is, after all that, after that massive failure and personal loss, Stannis makes him his hand.
I know. It seems counterintuitive, but maybe Stannis recognized he needed someone honest. Someone who wasn't just a yes man.
Someone to tell him the hard truths. The video definitely highlights that Davos wasn't afraid to speak up.
Even about Melisandre. He voices his doubts, his concerns about the magic, right to Stannis' face. Takes guts.
Which becomes so important with Gendry, Robert's bastard son.
Oh, right. Melisandre sees him, sees royal blood, and immediately thinks.
Sacrifice.
Of course.
But Davos isn't having it. He sees an innocent kid.
And he just helps him escape. Because, as he says, it's the right thing to do. So simple, but so Davos.
It really is. And I love his little line about being a slow learner, trying to explain why he did it. It's that humility again.
Even though Stannis is furious, throws him in the dungeons.
Yeah, Stannis is enraged. But then Melisandre steps in.
Which is ironic, isn't it?
Totally. She tells Stannis, don't kill him. We're going to need him. Even she sees his value, his role to play.
So they continue this uneasy alliance, Davos the pragmatist, Melisandre the fanatic, both tied to Stannis' ambition.
But their paths and Stannis' fate take a dark turn when they go north.
Ah, yes, the north. Stannis wants Winterfell, needs to deal with the wildlings first.
And this is where it gets really tough for Davos. Stannis sends him away, doesn't he? To Castle Black.
Yeah, on a sort of bogus mission, the video calls it a child's errand. Basically to get him out of the way.
Because Stannis is planning something horrifying. Something he knows Davos would never stand for. The sacrifice of Shireen. His own daughter.
It's just brutal. And the video reminds us about that bond between Davos and Shireen, how she taught him to read.
Yeah, while he was in prison, she'd correct him. Don't move your lips like that. That's for children. It's such a sweet detail.
So touching. You feel like he saw her almost as a surrogate daughter, maybe, after losing his sons?
Absolutely. And that reading skill she gave him, it becomes crucial. He figures out they need the Iron Bank.
Right. He reads the letters, understands the financial reality, his practicality extending to, economics.
But none of that matters in the end, does it?
Yeah.
Stannis pushed by Melisandre and desperation.
Burn Shireen alive. Despite her pleas, despite his wife's horror, it's one of the darkest moments in the show.
Just sickening. And it achieves nothing, really. Stannis' army starts deserting.
Morale collapses, the weather turns on him, he marches on Winterfell and gets wiped out by the Boltons, dies defeated.
Leaving Davos, well, adrift. His king is dead, sacrificed everything for nothing.
But then he finds Jon Snow. Or Jon Snow finds him, sort of. Jon's just been resurrected.
Yeah, another kind of impossible thing for Davos to process, probably.
Probably. But he sees something in Jon, a different kind of leader. Someone focused on the real threat, the White Walkers.
Someone who shares his values, maybe. Protecting the realm, like the video suggests.
Exactly. And Jon gets the support of the wildlings, which is huge. They trust him.
So Davos naturally falls into that advisor role again, becomes Jon's voice of reason. Hand of the king again, unofficially.
It just fits him, doesn't it? The video sums him up so well. Not a king, not a lord, not a dragon rider, no magic sword.
Just a decent man, trying to do the right thing, willing to tell powerful people what they might not want to hear.
The Onion Knight, still grounded, still fighting for the living.
And he does eventually get a chance to confront Melisandre, doesn't he? After the Battle of the Bastards.
He does. Finds Shireen's little wooden stag in the ashes, puts it all together.
He wants Jon to execute her. But she plays her part in the great battle against the dead.
Yeah, her magic finally comes through in a big way. And she just walks out into the dawn and poof.
Gone. Davos is the last one to see her, right?
Yeah.
A strange end to their conflict.
Very strange. And where does Davos end up after everything? On the small council for King Bran the Broken.
Master of ships, I think.
Yeah.
Still serving. Still trying to do good in that broken world.
It's a fitting place for him. The video calls it a testament to his nobility surviving in that harsh landscape.
Absolutely. His whole story reinforces those core things. Saving lives, protecting innocence, speaking truth, being loyal but not blindly so, that humility.
And that final message the video highlights, about unity against the common enemy.
Oh yeah, powerful stuff. If we don't put aside our enmities and bound together, we will die. And then it doesn't matter whose skeleton sits on the Iron Throne.
Hits hard, doesn't it? Especially coming from him. He's seen the worst of those petty squabbles.
He really has. What an arc. Smuggler, knight, hand, survivor, advisor. Twice and, really.
It really shows you loyalty, morality, speaking truth. These things matter, even in a world as brutal as Westeros. His journey wasn't straightforward. So many ups and downs.
Shaped by others, but also by his own fundamental character, his choices.
Definitely.
So maybe the final thought is this. In a story filled with dragons, ice zombies, magic, what makes a simple, decent man like Davos so compelling?
Is it that his common sense, his conscience, feels like an anchor in all that chaos? Maybe his grounded view is actually the most powerful thing.
Something to think about. Well, that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.